Welcome to another live stream. I am Keith, and it has been a crazy day today. So anyway, it's going to be fun tonight. Thank you so much for joining me. If you are here live, that's great. If you aren't here live and you're watching delayed, that's great as well. I am excited to have each and every one of you. I already have the back glasses on. I usually do that. Throwback to Mr. Rogers, who would change his tennis shoes, but I've already changed my glasses because, you know, getting ready for a live stream, there's always going to be something that gives you a little bit of a hiccup, and we did have a hiccup tonight, but I wanted to welcome everybody. I have chat working now, supposedly. It wasn't working earlier, but I believe it is working now. Let's just test it. Chat on the air. Yeah, it's in the wrong place, but we will fix that right now because it was broken and I was adjusting things. So let's see if that's better. Let's move that up just a touch. There you go. So that was a little message from me earlier. Welcome to tonight's live stream. I hope you enjoyed tonight's unboxing and a look at H2R Graphics version 3, as well as a laptop wish. And that's right, I do have a legit laptop wish, but we'll come back to that. Hello, Grish. It's great to have you. Spokane, Washington. Sounds like you're off the road, but it looks like you are going to be on the stream later. So shout out to Grish. It's great to have you. Tony's going to be here later as well. So yeah, we'll see if anybody else jumps in the chat. Looking here, there is Hank. It's good to have you, Hank. So I think it's just Hank and I right now, which is totally fine. Hank, it's always good to have you in the live stream. Let's give a little bit more room for your chat. So it's great to have you. So yeah, tonight we are going to talk about a laptop that I think is perfect for my studio. Let's go ahead and hit record and get recording going. But let me know, Hank, it sounds like it's just you and I, if it sounds good and it looks good. We're also going to do an unboxing tonight. So we're gonna look at a laptop. We're gonna look at a new device that I talked about here on the channel. We're gonna convert a webcam tonight into a HDMI output that I can bring into my my ATEM Extreme ISO. So that is, I think, ready to go, though I have never had it out of the box. And I'm sure there's going to be some kind of firmware update, but we'll have to mess with that later. I'm also going to show you the Tiny 3 camera next to my EOS R. And I noticed the Tiny 3 is waking up right now. Kind of funny that that camera just woke up because I said its name. Again, thank you so much to Osbot for sending me the Tiny 3, as well as this little device right here, which is a microphone. Now, I have not been able to get this to work. It's called the Vox SE, and similar to a RØDECaster Pro 2 and a RØDECaster Duo, the Tiny 3 camera has the little teeny microphones receiver built into it, and supposedly I haven't been able to get mine to work yet, but you can connect two wireless microphones to the new Osbot Tiny 3. This thing is feature packed. I'm getting ready to shoot a video. I have finished all the shooting for my YoloBox Extreme video and did some extra shooting yesterday to update some things, and I have it pretty well edited on the timeline. I just need to spend some time tomorrow going through it one more time, making sure there's no spelling errors or anything like that. So it's great to have you. It's good to have Rick here in the stream, and Rick will be interested in this, and that is we are going to be looking at H2R Graphics tonight. Now I am, let's see, what would be the proper verbiage? I think I'll save this little verb for later, but I nicknamed myself and my knowledge when it comes to H2R Graphics. If you don't know anything about H2R Graphics, we're going to look at John Barker's webpage. We're going to look at what's new in version 3, the Pro version, which I now have a subscription to, and you're going to see, actually, if all goes well, you're going to see H2R Graphics come on the screen tonight, and who knows, we may even have a little party planned tonight, so we'll see. I have the YoloBox Extreme opened up, and as I was saying, Osbot sent me the Tiny 3, so this is all my opinion. All I agreed to do was do a video that's supposed to release. They have a number of people doing videos, so they've asked me to release mine the week of the 7th of March, so I still have time. So I've been playing around with that. I have my remote tonight, and it is supposedly working. We'll see. Again, this uses a USB input, and actually we are going to be unboxing this little device. It's called the UVC to HDMI adapter. So not only are we going to look at my dream laptop tonight, I'm going to talk about the specs of that. Not only are we going to unbox this and hook it up and plug the Tiny 3 camera into this, this converts UVC to HDMI. So then I should be able to bring it directly into my live stream tonight without using a computer. You can also plug the USB-C or USB-A Bluetooth adapter, which then gives you still the ability to control the Tiny 3 with the remote control. So I'm super excited about that. And then also, as I said, we are going to dive into H2R Graphics. We have a big show tonight, and so I'm glad you guys could be here, and I'm glad Rick is excited. Audio and video 5x5. Don't forget to record. And yes, I did push record, and it is recording over there, Hank. So anyway, Tuesdays are live days, and I am Keith. This is Life Journey Production Studios, and we have a plethora of things to talk about tonight. So let me give you a little bit background. As we come into springtime, it has been very cloudy in the Tri-Cities, which is Richland, Pasco, Kennewick. In reality, there's a lot more cities that are crammed into this little area. If you don't know where Richland, Washington is, we're in the bottom right-hand, almost corner, kind of 30 or 40 miles in from the edge of Idaho in the state of Washington. So no, I'm not up in the Seattle area, nor am I up by Grish. Up in the Spokane area, I am down on the bottom right of the state of Washington. In fact, this is famous for 3 rivers, the Snake River, the Columbia River, and the Yakima River. They all converge here. This is called the Columbia Basin. It's also where the nuclear reactors are, and they've made plutonium fuel here. So it's crazy, and I've always joked and said that when I dive into the Columbia River, you don't have to worry about finding me because I glow in the dark. So, and I'm just kidding. I don't really glow. So tonight, as I was getting ready for tonight's live stream, the glitches that I have, and for those of you that tune into this channel because you want to know more about live streaming and using some of the tools, I decided about a week and a half ago, because of the influence of one of my clients who may or may not be identified tonight, but I wanted to say thank you to him, because I've had copies of H2R Graphics, the free version. I've played with it before, but he's kind of motivated me to dive all the way in. And as I was kind of processing some of the questions that he had and getting ready to watch some videos, I discovered a video, and I kind of wanted to start there tonight. Just, we'll come back to actually H2R Graphics here in just a moment. Let's go right here and go me and my laptop. But maybe you don't know H2R Graphics, but it's by this gentleman, John Barker. This video link, I believe, is in the description tonight. I'll double check that. But also a link to H2R Graphics. You can download a free version and play around with some of the things, but there's lots of really cool new updates. And what this is designed for, and I really believe what John Barker's motivation was, from my experience of watching him on YouTube, listening to some of the interviews he's done with some of the other YouTubers that I'm very much acquainted with. Some of them I know personally, some of them I don't. But the cool thing about John Barker is he came up with a solution to give us some access to some graphics that we could put on the screen. Now, in reality, there's a couple of different ways you can use H2R Graphics now. I'm going to be using it through OBS, which is a software called Open Broadcasting Software, which I'll show you kind of how that integrates tonight. And then I will be using my PC to actually display graphics, but we're going to look at the software on the laptop that you're seeing right now. So, H2R Graphics is the ability for you to open up the software and be able to then create some graphics, some lower thirds, and some different things on the screen. And if you have the Pro version, there's quite a few new things available. So the version 3 license, first let's talk about license. Version 3 is a new major version of the app, which means a new license. Get yours over our pricing page, upgrade pricing. There's 25% off by January 1st, which that has passed. And I basically paid full price for the Pro. And then it says build completely custom graphics with a new drag and drop interface. This allows you to finally build a graphic that is on brand and perfect for your live stream. So a lot of things that John Barker had is some different layouts and some different lower thirds, and you could change the text in the top and the bottom. And there were some other really cool things that he had, the ability to put chat on the air. And then he's always had some pro features that are available only to pro users, and then some basic free features available to free users. And that's really cool that he has a free version that you can play around with it and see how it would help you. But why would you want to have something like H2R Graphics and not just use OBS? Well, he's created some animations. You could create some high-tech things in OBS as well, and it is a powerful software. OBS stands for Open Broadcast Software, and it is free. You can support them, the guys that work on it all the time financially, but in reality, it is a really cool tool. I use it for bringing chat on the air, and it's a plugin that I use in Google Chrome, and then I'm able to pop the chat out of my YouTube channel when I get ready to go live, and then copy a link that once you download this plugin into your Chrome, when you pop out the chat, there is a link that you can copy, and then I paste that into a web browser in OBS, and then I can click on the chat, and then it will display on the screen. So for instance, like right now, I think chat is on the air. If I was to click on Jay's hello, it pops up on the screen, and that's all happening through OBS, through my ATEM Extreme ISO, and I'm using one of my keys. In fact, I will drag the software over right now, just to kind of explain a little bit about how this works. So if you're new to displaying chat, and many of you on my channel aren't new to it, so we'll turn, we'll leave Jay's on right here. You can see I have two keys on the air right now. If I turn that one off, it turns the key off that I have the chat coming into. So let's look at that key. That's key number 3, and I have my PC coming in here. So in reality, in order to use H2R Graphics, in order to use OBS, you have to use your laptop or your PC or your Macintosh. You have to have it somehow plugged in to your ATEM Mini or ATEM Extreme. And so you're going to have a channel, at least one channel, coming into your ATEM. And that's what I have right here. This is my PC channel, which is also this channel right here. So right now I have SuperSource Live. If I just cut to this, I'll cut to that PC channel, not going through my key. And that's what you get. You just get a black screen. But when I get back to SuperSource here, when I use my key, I'm cutting out all the black, and it just leaves J's hello right there. And again, it's good to have you, TVJ. So like my original one, and then in OBS, which is on my PC. So I'll stop projecting here for just 1 second. Let's see. Easiest way to do this is go up here and hit close. So now you just see my PC because I'm no longer streaming. So now if I bring that key on the air right here, it just shows you my PC because I'm projecting full screen from OBS. So if I go back and I project, let's see, and I'll drag this over just real quickly so you guys can see that. I'll drag this over to my PC here. So now that this is what's projecting. So if I go in here and right click, I'm able to choose where I want to project. Right now that's too small for me. So let's see, my PC is channel 6. Let me bring that full screen. So inside that, and I'll make it full screen for right now. So if I was to right click right here and click on open, you can see I have all these choices, my BenQ monitor, my Wacom tablet, which is where I keep the pop-out chat on to click on, and then Blackmagic Design means that my PC is plugged into my input number 6 in my ATEM, and that's how I can display. Now, right now, you're seeing everything full screen. But if I drag this back and then right click on the right side, which is the program side, and I open in Blackmagic, now you're seeing the chat again. So we'll go back to SuperSource, and then we will turn chat on the air and then click on one of these, and there you go. So thank you for joining us, Birbad. Shout outs from the Philippines. It's good to have you. We're talking about how I am putting chat on the air. So again, that's how you do the Chrome plugin, which was designed by Aaron Parecki, and he did a great job, and you can bring that in. Let me fix multi-view. I was going full screen on my PC input, and you can't see anything now. It's just black. But again, if I do that again, this is great. I'll show you guys this. And then I click on a chat, then there you can see it's popping up right there because that's channel 6. I can go on the front of my ATEM and click on the little matrix, which means that I can go multi-view or program out or camera 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And so I can cut through the cameras and put it on that monitor. So if I cut to 2, which I'm on, you'll see me back there. If I cut to 3, and I like this because it's on my BenQ monitor and it's right here. So if I want to check my focus on my camera, then I can just look over here and make sure that I'm in focus and everything looks good. Instead of it being a small little multi-view box like it is right here, right there, I now can make it a full-size box. And that's what's really cool about having multi-view and having a matrix on the front of your ATEM. And then if you use that particular HDMI out, which I believe is HDMI 1, there's 2 HDMI outs, then you can use that in your confidence monitors or your main monitor, and you can show multi-view or different inputs there. So if I wanted to see my intro video, which is in 7, then there's my intro video there, which is paused right now on my HyperDeck, which is input 7. And then if I cut back to multi-view, and you look on the right, when I'm playing a video, it's a 7 is my video, and so is 8. But if I change to a graphic that has a key, I change to a graphic that has a key, now you have the white layer, which is the key layer. And then if I cut to channel 8 now, you can see that as that animates, it's just the white layer. It's not the color layer. That cuts out the background. So if you put this over top of my shirt, if I have a plaid shirt, this cuts out the plaid, and then it allows this to show through, to show over top. And you get a really perfect animated logo because I have fill and I have a key layer. And that's true when you do those type of key fill graphics. And yes, curiosity, we'll let you know that it does take up 2 inputs in my ATEM Extreme ISO. So again, I have videos here on the channel about fill and key, and it's been around for a long time. OBS can do it as well, but I'm using one output, which is my HDMI. I do not have 2 outputs coming out of my PC or my laptop. I could add a card, a DeckLink card into my PC, which I'm thinking about doing this year. And then I could have key and fill coming out of my PC. And then I would be able to have crisper graphics displayed on the screen. But if you just want to use your HDMI out of your laptop or your HDMI out of your Mac or your PC so that you can put graphics on the air just like this, and by the way, I was a little bit late tonight, I apologize for that, then you can do that by using plugins through OBS, or you could add graphics through software like H2R Graphics. So let's stop talking about it and let's just bring in H2R Graphics here real quickly. Let's finish this part. So just the information about the new build. So you have the ability to create your own custom graphics, and you could brand them with your logo and all of that. He says we've added a bunch of templates to get you started with building, or you can just start from scratch. Simple template blanks and sample text, lower third templates, perfect for identifying speakers, players, or interview subjects. Message templates for notifications, alerts, and announcements. Panel templates, large featured graphics for in-depth information. And then you have the ability now to do text variables. Now, this is above my head, but probably not above some of your guys' heads. But you can actually do text variables, add as many text variables as you need in the latest version. We had this fixed to be fixed to 6 before, but now pro users can add as many as they need. And so evidently in here, you could pre-type out your guests' names, and then you could update the graphic as you are live by using these text variables. Google Sheets integration. Use the new Google Sheets integration to pull data from Google Sheets. This data can be used in any graphic that you have in your rundown, which is kind of your show. You're able to run those into the show. Simply paste the idea of your Google Sheets into the variables tab and start pulling in data. And you can see right here, you have an ID, you have a sheet, and then you're able to add Google Sheets by hitting the plus icon right there. And I'll make this a tad bit bigger if it will. Nope, it's not going to let me. Direct link to any graphic. We added a special way to create specific outputs that only contain one single graphic from your rundown. So copy the link from any graphic and then open that in a browser anywhere on your network. This specific link will only load that one graphic. This is super handy for building graphics for certain displays and being confident that you will only show that one graphic. So again, John's added a lot of these cool features, audience Q&A. We've recently added a full audience Q&A system to H2R Graphics cloud offering. This lets you ask questions to your audience so you can kind of see that layout. Explore how this feature works, and then much more using variable image graphics, using sections to show hide graphics and rundowns, add more teams to the score graphics, so you can add more teams if you want to use the scoreboard feature built into H2R. Now, I was watching John Barker, and he was talking about other type of scoreboards, and there's so many sports, and there's so many different types of things that people want on scoreboards. He has some basic scoreboards built into H2R graphics, and if anyone, he said, wants to add more, they would have to write their own code, and that makes total sense because that rabbit hole would never end. Loads of new default themes added, had high time of day graphic when time is done, add a background color to a web page graphic, action and title, safe guides for outputs. Again, you could add safe guides on your screen like a lot of the monitors that we use in production have, so that we make sure that we keep our graphics inside that specific area. Text line 3 added to lower thirds. So now there's a third text lines to lower thirds. So you could have your name, your occupation, and your email, or maybe your whatever link you want to Twitter or whatever, to X. And then fix the delete media will remove from eternal storage, fix the drag and drop images into image graphic, and fix the performance improvements to audio and video graphics. And that's just the things that were added to version 3. And probably the biggest thing John would tell you is the ability to customize and build your own graphics instead of him having only presets available for us. So, okay, let me just check in on the chat, see if anybody else is here, and then we will open up H2R Graphics and show you a little bit about it. It's good to have you tonight, Doug. Thank you for joining us. Better late than never. I didn't see you walk in, so hopefully you use that trick of backing in the room, so when the teacher sees you, instead of asking you why you're late, I'm asking you where you're going. So the key is always back in to my live streams, and I'll just wonder why you're leaving me. So anyway, Jay says, I really wish he would output to key and fill and not a chroma key. Okay, so let's talk about that real quickly. Because, let's stop that. You now have the ability, let me go ahead, let's see, someone else. I wish H2R would do key and fill, I mean. Yeah, and I don't know if John is going to add the ability to do that. Again, I am a novice, which is the word I was going to say for later. When it comes to H2R Graphics, literally, I spent more time today with H2R Graphics than I have in over a year, though I have played with it quite deeply. In the years past, I've been doing these live streams for 5 years now. And thank you so much for those of you who subscribe and join me each week live. And it is a place to learn and do unboxings live, to hook up things unlive, compare cameras, to talk about all of these tools. And that's why I want to dive in. But I agree with you, Jay. I hope he will. And I'm glad, Doug, you think that backing into the classroom is a great technique, because it is. Taught to me by teenagers. So good to have you. Toto, let's see. Aviator is now. Good to have you. You've had a name change to your channel, which is cool. And greetings from Germany. Greetings from Richland, Washington. It is great to have you. So let's get H2R Graphics open, because we need to get on with some of tonight's topics. So I'll just go ahead and show you my desktop. So here is H2R Graphics. I'm going to pull the icon over, double click on it. It's going to open up eventually. 5, 4, 3, 2. Can you wonder why I need a new PC? So this is how it opens up. And I have the Pro version, and it's got my network, all that stuff in it. So it's networked. So you have two sections here. You have the control and the output. And one of the cool things that John Barker has added, let's make this larger, is this ability to just drag and drop this OBS icon in the output. Output would be like if you want to use a green screen, you would just click open, and it's going to give you this big, gigantic green screen. And then you would pull this over to the show and then chroma key it out. But I'm sharing my desktop, so, and I don't need that. But you can also take this little OBS icon and drag it into OBS. So let's minimize this. Let's open up OBS. I get my normal crazy OBS error messages, and my NDI plugin is not working. I get that message. And now OBS is going to open up and make me look like I know what I'm doing. Slowly opening up. Cancel all that. We'll close that camera for right now. Transition. We will close. And I use this today to actually do my intro video. So when I do my intro video, I upload my still image into OBS. I have a countdown clock right here, so I can enable that, and it shows up. And right now, for some reason, this window's smaller than that window, and I didn't have time today to fix it. So, but if I wanted to reposition the countdown clock, I just click on it down here in my sources. So you have scenes, which you can create different shows. So let's say you had a podcast in the morning that was sports, and you had one in the afternoon that was specifically fishing, and you wanted to have a complete different show for both of those, you would use a scene. And then once you have a scene set up, you would click on it and add sources, and sources can be any one of these choices right here, from application audio capture, which is a beta thing, so you can capture audio from like a Spotify app and then bring it into your OBS. Audio inputs, couple choices there: browser, color source, display capture, game capture, image. So if you want to bring in a still image or a lower logo thirds, image slideshow. So if you want to have a slideshow in the middle of your OBS live stream, or you could use OBS in your ATEM live stream. Media source, it's how you bring cameras in, scenes, teleport, text, video capture, VLC, bring in video cameras or capture cards from video capture. If you did have a deck link card and you had like a camera plugged into your PC as an input in your deck link card, and if you don't know what a deck link card is, remind me later in the chat and I will show you. But you could then bring that source in. Any webcam you could bring in that was plugged in to the computer you have OBS running on. And if you're using like a capture card, like a cam link right here, which will capture 4K HDMI and turn it in to USB A 3.0, then you'd be able to capture your DSLR HDMI or a HyperDeck HDMI out right into your OBS. So VLC, which is a video playing freeware that's out there, so it plays videos, window capture, and then groups, and then there's deprecated text-free type 2, which I think that's just something they're testing. So once you have the sources in, then you can then make them live. So let's move this. That's where it was tonight. Let's move it up here on the laptop, hit transition. And then if I want to, let's say I want to do a quick intro video, I can turn that off, transition. I can hit record. So I'm going to pretend I hit this start record, and this will record onto your computer. And you can open it under file right up here. So if you use the compression that's available, you would remux it right here. And if you just don't use the compression, just make it a movie file or MP4, then you would just show recordings. If I show recordings right now, I only have this one in here because I delete them after I use them. And this is a regular MP4. But if I use the compression, let's go ahead and hit start. Let's go ahead and turn on the countdown clock. It'll reset and start counting down from 7. Let's pretend like we let that count down all the way. I could even make it larger while it's recording over there. So now it's a little bit larger. And let's hit stop. It stops. I go up to File Now and hit Remux. And now if I click on these 3 little dots, you're going to see a .mkv file right here. And the other one I showed you earlier, just to prove it, I will change to large. So there's that one and one I just recorded. This needs to be remuxed, so I just click on it, click open. It gets right here. I click on remux. It basically just uncompresses that video. So it's a smaller file. Now it's a big file, and I have 2 of them. And I can prove I have 2 of them. Let's clear all, close. Now I'll go up to File, Show Recordings. And now, there you go. There's the MP4, which is what I would drag into my Adobe Premiere timeline to add music and add other animated graphics for my intro, and then Goodnight and other animated graphics for my outro. But that's how I get them. That's how I make them inside OBS. But let's turn off that clock. And now let's minimize this and bring this forward. Now we're going to grab this little OBS icon right here, and I'm going to drag it into my source location right here. Drop it in. It says, you have dragged a URL into OBS. This will automatically add the link as a source. Continue, question mark. It gives me the URL I'm adding, and yes, I want to add it, and bang. That has been added. We'll see where it's at here. Let's make this easier. Let's go to a new scene. We'll call this live show. Click OK. We'll do it again. We'll drag it in and hit yes. So there it is. So it makes a window, and it brings in H2R Graphics. So now how do I get graphics in that window? First of all, I'm going to transition and then go back to that show. OBS just changed windows. Sorry about that. Gotta love live. Okay. So go back to that live show, click on transition, and now let's do this. Let's go to control room and hit open. And now I have a preview window on the top left and an output window on the bottom left. And now let's add a source. So let's do a lower thirds here. Let's do a lower third animated, and let's make that live. So this makes it preview by clicking on this box, and then up here is a run menu, and then that says run. So now that ran that graphic. So does it show up in OBS? Well, let's find out. Minimize that, and there we go. You can see it showed up in OBS. So if I turn that graphic off over here, if I turn it off, now it's off in OBS. So again, I can add graphics, I can add all of these features, and let's go ahead and click add, and we'll go through all of these features that are available. Let's minimize OBS. Let's make this full screen. So I have animated backgrounds, audio, I can build a custom graphic. This is that new custom graphic builder. I could click on that, and then these are presets. So let's say I wanted to work with, this graphic. Double click on it, and then there are all the things that I can adjust or change inside that graphic, and then I can either prepare it in preview to go on the air and hit run, or I can just turn it on right here, and now it goes live in both windows. And then if I minimize this and open up OBS, there you go. It is live. So then how would I make that live in my show? Well, let's just do that. Let me drag this over. And then I'm going to right click in this window. I'm going to open on Blackmagic. So now it's full screen in this box because now it is an input. It's taken over the whole screen of my laptop, which I'm sharing with you. And now that graphic is full screen. So all I would have to do is change inputs to a different input and then add it to a key and bring it on the air, which we're going to show you on my PC. So I right click, I click close. It gives me my screen back. And now H2R Graphics and OBS is minimized. And so you can use OBS. And what it's doing in OBS, let's make this smaller before I bring it over. Let's see, that is, I think it's 1. Crazy. The windows tonight are out of control because I'm dragging them to different size windows. Look at this thing. Okay. We'll close that. So that's how you can integrate H2R Graphics into your live stream. So you could bring it in as a Luma key and chroma key out, or chroma key, and get rid of the background green and it would display in a key, or you can now bring it in as a Luma key. And if you don't know what those are, let's just talk about keys real quick. So here's my 4 keys that I have in my ATEM Extreme ISO. I only would have one of these in an ATEM Mini Pro or ATEM Mini Pro ISO, and I'd have 1 downstream key, but I have 4 upstream keys and I have 2 downstream keys. So let's just take key number 1, which I use for this logo on the bottom. And we'll open up key 1, and you can see there's a Luma folder, chroma folder, pattern folder, and that would put me in a box if I get rid of the softness. So I could be in a triangle, or I could be in a circle. If I go to DVE, which is right here, then it's just a picture in picture. And if I change this to like my other camera, now you have my other camera. I can size this and bring it up on the screen. I can make it smaller, and I can put this picture in picture anywhere. So the keys, the upstream keys, have Luma, which is to remove like black, a single color. And then they have chroma, which is to remove green. And right now you're not seeing that. You're seeing this image because, so let's do this. Let's just go black, and let's turn that off the air and go back to Super Source, because that's my logo on the air and it takes over the whole thing. So Luma, and right now I have assigned to Media Player 1. So whatever is in Media Player 1, that's what that key is going to, Luma is going to play. So right now I'm using it to display my lower thirds. So if I turn it on the air, it's just showing my logo. But if I was to drop a image in there, let's drag this in. So now you see I just drug H2R Graphics in. Now let's turn it on the air, and it takes over my whole screen because that's not a transparent PNG. That's a regular graphic. So if I wanted that to be smaller, I would have to turn on flying key, and then I could size it, and I could put it in the top left corner and hit set A. I could make it bigger and take it right there and hit set B. And now I can fly it to A using flying key, fly it to B, or I could even bring it to its full size like it was before, and then turn it off by turning the key off. I'll go back into my media player. Let's drop my logo back in. And now, as I turn my key on, it's just a logo. So what does this mean? OBS can use Luma, right? Or it can use Chroma. So I could drag in a green screen image, and I could Chroma key it out. So let's say I bring it into full size on my laptop screen, which is this screen right here. So if I bring it in full screen, move this out of the way, open up. Let's see, I think I have H2R already open. Let's see. Yes, I do. So if I wanted to have the output be green, let's close this. Let's do a regular opening. So this is going to be the output. So if I drug that over to my laptop location, which is this full screen, and let's bring H2R Graphics over here so I can show you this. Bring this on the air full screen. Now I need to chroma key this out. So let's chroma key it out. We will go into key number 1. We're going to change this to chroma. We're going to choose my laptop input. We're going to source the green. We'll source the green. Got to get the green. There it is, because I have this in the way. So it's sampling the green. Click preview to remove the background. Let's move this back out of the way. And now if I turn this key on the air, now I put the graphics on the air. Now there is some background up on the top because I'm sharing my screen at the same time, but you can see now there's no green. There is a little bit of transparency, so I have to kind of adjust the key to get it looking right. So I've got to adjust it with the controls right here. Here's the background layer. Here is the key edge. Here is the foreground layer. So as I adjust that, it makes those fine adjustments. So now let's go back to just my regular logo. It is loaded. Let's lose the green screen from H2R Graphics, and we're back. So again, you can bring H2R Graphics in using Luma by just removing the black. That's how I'm projecting in OBS. Or you could bring it in using chroma key, and you key out the green, and then the graphics are left to remain. Now, why would you use chroma key over Luma key? Well, when you're using Luma, you may not have really good sharp blacks. And if I'm not wearing any green, and if I don't have any green in my scene, then I could use a green screen, remove the green, and then all of the other colors, including the blacks, will be super sharp. And I believe that's why John Barker is using chroma key for H2R Graphics. So how does this translate into actually using H2R Graphics. Well, let's go to my PC right now. And let's turn off Skycam, off chat, off the air. And what do we have here? Let's stop projecting. Close. Okay, so here's my PC. And again, it's 6. So let's drag this over here. Here's OBS. This is how I'm bringing my chat on the air, but I want H2R Graphics. So I've enabled the H2R Graphics layer. And now I need to open up H2R Graphics and try that again. I have it on my other monitor so you guys can see it. We'll bring this on the screen. And so let's make this a little bigger. And so I have a countdown here, and I have a H2R Graphics version 3.0. Let's just go ahead and turn all of these I created today. Turn them all on, except for that one. There we go. And then we'll hit run. And now they've come over. Well, they should have come over to H2R or to OBS, but they have not. So let's see if we can find out what is going on here. Here is the layer we need to look at. So I have copied this over and dropped it down. I did have issues with this earlier tonight, so stand by. Let's get this out of our way. So it is running. It is in preview. Let's check the key. See, chat on the air is key number 3, and it is set for PC, so that's good, Luma. So that is good. We will leave that on the air for right now. That turns my graphic on. Okay, back to H2R here. Let's go into OBS. Let's turn this. Turn these off again. And okay. Let's try a new scene here. We'll call this live stream. And we're going to click OK. And then we are going to drag. You find it here. We're going to drag this OBS down in here. Yes, it is on. So let's try this again. Click run, and it is not projecting in OBS. So let's reboot OBS. Find out what's going on here. And see if we can get, let's turn this off the air here. see if we can get OBS working here. So we're rebooting OBS. So stand by. I did test this earlier and it worked perfectly fine. But again, I am using the chat plugin that Aaron Parecki created at the same time in OBS, and they might be conflicting for some reason. I do not know why they would conflict, but. And let me just hit Control Alt Delete here and make sure that OBS is closing. Stand by. And it's not closing. So we're going to close it, then reopen it. And it might just have been trying to open again. But we will get through this H2R demo here. Just stand by. I'm not afraid, though I should be. Okay, while we're waiting for that, I don't have any chat without OBS, but Stryker says same port, Aaron's and H2R. Yeah, not the same. I don't think it's the same port. Could be. Never thought about that. That's great. Great thought. Okay, so it says OBS is opening again. So let's see if it does. I don't want to have to reboot my whole PC, but we can. Let me change, put multi-view behind me again. And I'm just waiting for OBS. Let me close my Skycam controls here. Just trying to shut some software here. Let's. There is OBS, so it says it's running. Okay, let me minimize this. Let me minimize this. Okay, let's try this again. Oh, I see what's going on here. 7, 8, 8. There we go. It's opening in my window. Okay. So H2R Graphics is working now. Let's right click. Let's go back to multi-view. Let's right click and open in Blackmagic Design. And then let's turn chat on the air. So there you go. I wasn't afraid at all. I lie. So let me pull H2R Graphics over here to my other screen. So now all of these are open. I could close individually these different graphics. I definitely don't have to have my logo on at the same time, so I can turn my logo off. But you can see they're not positioned correctly. Let me find out why. Let's resize to fit source. Yeah, not sure why they are located where they are. Try this again. Resize source output. Still doing that. Oh, well. We'll play with it like this. So they should be all the way down on the bottom. So I'm not sure what's happening. Let me look at my settings here in OBS. And my output is 1920 by 1080. And I'm not sure what the output setting is in, well, they're actually located high in here, and I'm not sure why that is. So I'm not going to change that. Let's just close these, turn them off. Let's bring one of these on. Here's the countdown clock, and it's where it's supposed to be. And you can see that countdown clock come on the air. And then one of my favorite features that I'm really looking forward to using is this feature right here. Got confetti falling, which I think is really cool. And inside that confetti, let's see, can I show you guys that? Yeah, let's go back to 7. Let's turn my chat off the air, and let's drag this over to, let's see, I want not 7, I want 6. My PC, there we go. So now you can see this behind me. So if I click on the confetti, right click on it, you see it pops on. I'm not showing it full screen right now, but I can go in here and edit. And then let's see, I have confetti. I could also do balloons. So let's make the balloons go. And you can see the balloons going right there. Not only do I have balloons, I have money falling. This is probably more some of our speed right here. Now we got money falling. And so I could bring that on the screen. I just showing you guys right now so you can see it live. And let's see what else we have. We have money. We also have emoji. I have no clue what this is going to do, but we're about to find out. Click run. And yeah, there you go. I have a bunch of spaceships flying through the screen. Obviously, my favorite is for sure confetti. But again, I could make these graphics or buy these graphics and then add them to this device and make the confetti fall, which I think is just really cool. So let's go back to multi-view back there. Let's slide this back out of there onto this screen and turn chat back on the air. Put my logo back on the screen, and let's see if we can make some confetti fall on the screen. So I think H2R Graphics is really a cool piece of software. I haven't made my own designs. I haven't done a lot of the features that are available in it. Again, if we bring it back onto the live stream here, find my mouse. Bring it back over here. Let's open it. And there's other folders too. There's rundown, buttons, and social. I haven't played with any of these. So again, I am 100% a novice. In fact, one of the graphics that I made for tonight's live stream, where is it at? Let's turn all of these back on. It's not that one. There it is. Right there it says novice alert. So that's the version that I have of H2R Graphics. Thanks to John Barker for this great program. But H2R Graphics version 3.0.2, and it even has some really cool features. And so if we open control room again and we go down through all the ads, you have celebrations, you have checklists, you have credits. So you can do credits at the end of your show, audience Q&A, icons with messages, images, image sequences, images with messages, custom HTML lower thirds animated, lyrics, maps. Here's the map that he uses, and I don't have a clue. Let's see what happens when I bring that on the air. Yeah, I guess I have to copy in a URL for the map, but that's really cool feature. So you could have a map as you're getting ready to start your live stream. Let's finish the list right here. So you got, where are we at here? Map, messages, add large amounts of text in one place. Now, next, then, show upcoming agenda items. Progress, track progress with a bar. QR code. So if you wanted to put a QR code on your screen for people to purchase something from your pro shop. This section, organize your graphics on the rundown. Slideshow, score, that would be his different scores. Let's go ahead and open that, turn this on. So there is a scoreboard popping up there on the top left. And again, I'm just showing you the preview and the program. And again, so if you turn these off and you just click on the left icon, that gets them ready in preview. And then if you want to run them into the program, which is the bottom window, then you'd hit run, and then they all will go live, and then you could take them off the air individually and get one ready to go back again, and then click run. And you can do it run by bringing them all on and off, or you could just individually turn them on and off right here. Now, I did try to play with the chat function tonight, but I couldn't get it to work. So for whatever it's worth, let's turn that off the air. So again, I could add one of those other features. What are the last three? You got a large text, time of day, a test pattern. Let's do test pattern and put it on the air. Nothing came up there. That came on the air, but the test pattern isn't coming on the air for whatever reason. So again, I'm still learning H2R graphics, but it looks to me like it is feature packed. So let's fix chat. Let's go back into okay, what's happened here? Looks like I've lost. Seriously, live stream has no inputs in it now. That has never happened before. So let's see if we can set up chat again. Weird. Let me close OBS and reopen it again. Turn SkyCam off the air. Chat off the air. Sorry about that. I just closed OBS because my chat display is completely missing from OBS. But welcome. And maybe it is maybe they are using the same channel as Grish said. So we'll have to figure this out. I don't know why it would have erased my inputs, my sources in my scene, but it sure looks like it did. Okay, OBS is officially closed. Let's reopen it, but we'll come back to that. Sorry, I can't put chat on the air, but I can take a look at what's happening in the chat. So let me close all of these H2R graphics. Stand by here. Yeah, live stream has no sources. There's my chat overlay. And let me see if I can find the chat again. There we go. Okay, same port, Aaron, H2R, I'm not sure. Right now, I do not have chat working. Let me copy this link again and paste it in here. See if we can get chat displaying again. Let me make sure H2R Graphics is turned off. We're going to turn it off for now and try to get chat messages popping up again. And they are not. So let's compare these. Okay. Let's we're gonna pop out chat again. Start from scratch here. By the way, why I'm doing this, we do have a poll tonight. And the poll is, do you use H2R Graphics currently? And it says that we have 14 votes and 43% of you say, yes, you are using H2R Graphics, and 57% of you say you are not using H2R Graphics. So about half and half tonight, a little bit less than half of you actually using H2R Graphics. I don't know if what I did tonight will motivate you to potentially get it. You would probably use H2R Graphics exclusively and not use OBS to display chat, because H2R Graphics does have the ability to display chat. But because that's kind of my normal pattern of how I do things, I am still displaying it like I normally do. So we're going to try to get chat going one more time, and it just is not displaying. Let's remove this link from H2R Graphics. Move that there as well. Okay, and we will close OBS one more time and come back. Let's just move on because for some reason it is not working. We have here new version of Camera Hub. I'm not going to update that tonight. Let's dive into our other topics tonight. Let me talk about this laptop right here. This is, my friends, my dream laptop. This is called the ROG ZEPHYRUS Duo. Now, I have an Asus ZenBook Duo. I've had it for 4.5 years. It has a 20, let's see, what video card does it have in it? Let's go to settings. System. I'm trying to remember to go here. About. This is an Intel Core i9-9980, 2.4 gigahertz with 32 gigs of RAM. It has a 6 gig graphics card in it, and the graphics card is a NVIDIA GeForce RTX 2060. So this was a big deal when I bought. I think I spent almost $3,000 on this laptop. So that's what I have now, and it has a Thunderbolt 3 port. And I use it almost every day. I edit with it. I do a lot of things with it, and this is what I really think would be perfect to replace it. First of all, I like the 2 monitors. It has 2 Thunderbolt ports. It's got a i9, the newer generation processors. You can get it with a very big GeForce card, a 5090 if you want. There's different sizes. You can get a 14-inch or a 16-inch version of this. And that's, I guess, why they have this picture back to back. But this is kind of my dream computer. Let me make sure that OBS is opening back up here. Just catch back up here with the chat. Greetings from Germany. Same port, could be .8080 after it in the URL. I'll have to check on that. But I shut down H2R Graphics. That's why I've got it working, Toto. Let's see. Just got my answer. Can H2R version 3 do animated in and out for lower thirds? I missed the beginning, backed into class late. Yeah, it can actually do animated lower thirds. It's got lots of cool features. Good to have you, Tony, in the second hour. Still got lots ahead of us. Is H2R still running in the background? I have officially closed it, but thank you for your input. Let's go back up here. Yeah, and again, I agree with Jay that it'd be great if you could do key and fill through H2R Graphics. And who knows, John Barker may enable that. We will see what he does. So let me turn chat off the air. Just wanted to make sure I caught up with that. And we have chat working. Okay, so you can get a RTX 5090 laptop, the 150 max TGB version. You can get dual 3K ROG Nebula HDR displays with OLED touchscreen, 5 unique operating modes. Here's the weight, keyboard, I think, effortless. Windows 11 Pro comes with it, and it'll have an Ultra 9 processor, 386H. And then here's a bunch of performance information that you can look at. But again, the world's first dual 16-inch screen gaming laptop. It's not for gaming. For me, it would be editing, but you can see the advantage here. Now, they make a Asus Duo that doesn't have a real high-end video card in it. It has an ARC, the newer ARC card. It's great for some small projects, maybe 1080p timelines, but I want a beast. My laptop's been my main laptop for almost 5 years now, and it's time to update, and I love the idea of the dual monitors. They've adjusted it, but I think it's really cool. You can turn them sideways as well. The keyboard detaches and sits right on the top. So again, here's the keyboard on. Here's the 2 screens laying on the ground. They'll backfold if I remember right. So let's see if they have a picture of it backfolding. Yeah, right here. So you can sit across from each other. So you could do a meeting with someone and duplicate the display so they could follow along across from you. It would be great for a podcast, a live stream, to be able to split those screens and both people could see the comments at the same time. That would be really cool. Again, the keyboard, detaches. That's really cool. And that it can be in all these different formats, side by side, in portrait layouts, landscape, back to back, landscape on the table. And then again, Windows 11, it's got 150 watts, dynamic boost, up to 1824 AA tops, DLSS 4. I think that's the memory, 4th generation ray tracing cores. Oh, actually, that's, I think, ray tracing information. GFX RTX 50 series laptops gives you a lot of information about that. Now, one of the things about the GPUs is how much power they draw and can they get full power delivered to them. And I will be putting in a link, one of my favorite all-time gentlemen's out there that teaches on laptops, and he reviews all the laptops. His team was at CES, and he took pictures and got all the stats. All the manufacturers send him laptops to review. He even has a web page where he has ability for you to shop, and he goes over all the best laptops for different uses. So if you're using it for business, you're using it for like video production, if you're using it for gaming, whatever it is. Now, this is a gaming laptop, and that's not why I'm getting it. I'm getting it because I want the processor, I want the GPU, I want the memory, I want the ability to actually dabble in AI as well going forward. But again, a great, great looking laptop and lots of features. So OLED, 1100 nits, that's the brightness. I think my BenQ is only 400. I think my laptop right now, I think, is only 500, my Asus. So you got 3K resolution, 1 million by 1 contrast ratio, 120 is the refresh rate, 213% larger with the second panel, and all the other specs. And it's got G-Sync technology, Dolby Vision technology, Pantone color validation, 100% DCI P3 color coverage, which is important for video editing. It's ultra thin. You can see the keyboard layout. And then here is a bunch more information. Here's the cooling, how it cools. And they call it the vapor chamber, nano insulated, dual fans, supposed to be very, very quiet, 0 dB ambient noise. And it says precision meets elegance in stellar gray, which is perfect color for me. I don't need any flash or flare. So lots of information here, even about the Dolby speakers with a staggering 120% volume increase from the previous Zephyrus Duo speakers. So there's been a 122% increase in the speakers. So again, I'm going to look at the reviews, but 90 watt battery type C charging. But one of the things I really like about this is it has 2 USB 3.2 Gen 2 type ports, a DCI in jack, HDMI 2.1, Thunderbolt 4, there's 2 of those, and that's really one of the deal breakers for me. I want to be able to have a hub and then another one to do a lot of the things that I do in the studio, like I may add a Thunderbolt device from Blackmagic to do key and fill. So I want a available Thunderbolt port, and they are Thunderbolt 4. And most of those devices are Thunderbolt 4 or smaller from Blackmagic. So that's really exciting for me. It's got Wi-Fi 7. It's got a metal cavity antenna for that. It's got software built in that lets you know what's happening, and then all the other gaming stuff that comes with it. You got cases that you can get. Let's see. And then these are the other Zephyrus. Here's the 2023 model. Here's the new ROG Zephyrus G14. Here's the new ROG Zephyrus G16. the ROG ZEPHYRUS G14. And again, this is the Duo model with the dual screens. But here is the 2025 models. And again, the ROG ZEPHYRUS line by Asus is very well known. Let's go to tech specs. And you can see a comparison. The ROG ZEPHYRUS Duo, you have two models here that you can compare. This is the, let's see, what is the difference between these two? I think it's size of the screen. 5090, 5070 Ti. So this is the more expensive one here on the right. And you can do a comparison of these on their site. So I don't want to spend a ton of time on that laptop, but let's see if I can get you guys a retail price here. Stand by. I may have to go to Asus's site here. I found some prices earlier. They're not inexpensive. I'm not even sure. This is the old model. Yeah, these just have the ARC graphics in them. And I am just not getting any pricing this time around. Let's go back to this page and see if I can scroll down here. This was just announced at CES, so maybe there's no pricing. I thought I saw some pricing earlier today, but I might have been on the wrong laptop. So I will keep you guys posted, but somewhere around 3,500 to $4,000 for that laptop. And I know that's crazy, but it is what it is. So, okay. So I'm going to turn this camera around here. Let's see if we can fire it up. And open this up real quick. We are going to unbox this little item right here. And I think I have a camera here that we can use. So let's double check. Okay, so let's do this. Change mics here. Move my keyboard. We want camera. Let's do super source here, macros. In my overhead cam, and I'll fix this real quick. There we go. So let's bring that in. We'll pull this camera over so you guys can get a better view of this little device. Now let's rotate it. Better. And this is the new UVC to HDMI adapter. And again, this is, I think you guys can see that. There you go. And this is the YoloCam S3 that I have as an overhead camera tonight. Sorry, the colors are a little bit off, but it's 4K. And this will convert from UVC, USB-C to HDMI. So on the back, it just gives you some information. And then what it is on the side, this is their version 2. Retails for about $167. I did spend my own money on this device. But let's figure out how to unbox it here. Handy dandy safety pin. So inside the box, you have the manuals. So how to use it. And it tells you how to hook it up, and you have a place to plug in the USB-A for the controller. And this is the controller we'll be trying to get to work. And then you got to have power, which I have I ordered a power from that's supposed to be exactly, I think I have one here that's going to work. And then you can come in USB-C from a webcam, and it's not really focusing. It's a bit overexposed. So let me take the exposure down just a little bit. A little better. So tried to bring it up so you guys can see it better, but we'll get it out of the box here. So you have a little plastic container. It's not super big. So there you go. It's got little holes on either side to let it breathe. And then on this side, you have USB-C. One of these is power. One of these is to plug the camera in. We'll make sure we get those right. And then that's where we'll be able to plug in the USB-A port for the Osbot remote control. And then this side, we have HDMI. On the back, you have information from Osbot. You can see their logo on there. I think someone else makes this and they put their name on it. I'm not quite sure, but there is a look. I like this a little brighter. I love the fact that you can change exposure now. A little better. And it actually says power goes there, the USB-C goes there, and then that is for the little icon for USB there. Then this side says HDMI, and then again, so it's got good labels on it, so you shouldn't get confused. So there you go, that's our unboxing. And then also in here, it comes with a USB cable, I believe, USB-C cable. It does not come with a power adapter, but it comes with this long cable. It's pretty big. Pretty big. Almost stretched my arms out. Back to super source here. I want to fix that layout. So that's all that's in the box. So we'll clean up this. Again, I do have a USB adapter that's the right amps and voltage coming. I think the one that I have here will work perfectly fine, but just to be safe, that's on the way. So I'm going to hook it up here on my desk. So we're going to use this for the camera, I guess. I don't know if I need to use this. I think I'll just use this other camera here. Bring this over here so you guys can see this. We're going to go back to me and my laptop. So here is actually the image out of the Osbot. Got the remote control in my hand right here. And so I can zoom out, zoom in, I can pan. So if I like this shot right here, I could hold down one of these program buttons, then we'll zoom back out, go back on me, hold down another program button, and then let's frame me a little different here. Hold down button 3. Here's button 1, button 2, and program button 3. So I love the fact that I can use this in my PC and control it, but I want to have HDMI. I don't want it to have to go through my laptop. I want to have HDMI. So let's plug all this stuff together and see if we can get it working. So I already have an HDMI cable here. So let's cut back to me and a logo. So we're going to plug this HDMI cable in right there. I already brought in power. Let me just find it. Where are you? Right here. So here is my little adapter I have and power. So we're gonna plug this into the power side. It's got a little lightning bolt there. Open up the manual just to make sure. Yeah, you hold it like this, and yep, this side is power. So we'll plug this in, and hopefully that's gonna provide power. And then now all we need to do is unplug the webcam. So let's cut back to me and a laptop. I'm gonna actually unplug the laptop, the camera from my laptop, and it's gonna die, and there it did, it died. I'm gonna take the adapter off right here. This is USB-C to USB type A. I'm gonna plug the A adapter in here. So now we have the camera, and I don't think I'm getting power from this adapter because my camera did not come back on. So that's not good. What else can we try here? You're not supposed to be able to use computer power. I thought this adapter would work. It said it's 5 amp, 2 point. So maybe it's not enough ampage to run this. And I don't want to fry it. So I don't know if there's a light that comes on when it's on. I'm looking for a little visible light. But, okay, so the camera did not come alive, so I'm assuming that I'm not getting any camera. So let's see. Could it be this cable that I have? Can't carry power. Let's see what else I have here. When in doubt, punt. Okay, it's got power now. Let's go into my control software. Probably gonna have to go over to this computer. Check. Cool, I got audio. Let's open up software over here. So I have this adapter going into input 1 in my second ATEM. So let's bring input 1. There we go. And let's change cameras to input 1. So there is the Tiny 2 camera. I'm going to turn it around and put it on me. It's now HDMI into my live stream. So now we will unplug the USB adapter. I think this is the right one. I have two back there. One is my, so here we go. Put it right here. I'm gonna plug this in. I hope this is the right adapter. See that I kill my mouse. That mouse works. That mouse works. So it's definitely this adapter. Try this again. Let's cut cameras here. Let me power it off and then back on again. See if that enables the remote control. Camera's booting back up. Oh. Okay, I'm gonna unplug it real quick, try one more thing here. Well, that's definitely my logic. So this is definitely the remote control. They only can go in one way. So we're gonna unplug the camera this time and see if we can reset the camera. This is supposed to act like a computer to link these two together. And so just trying to see if we can get working. We'll cut back to that view. And still no remote control. How about my preset? Nope. Try the on and off button. Try the zoom in and out. Well, that's a bummer because it's supposed to work with this and it is not. So, but I never had it out of the box before. I could be doing something wrong. Let's just cut over here and read this real quick. Connect the power input port to the power supply. Connect the HDMI output port to the monitor via HDMI cable. Connect the USB camera with a USB-C input. If necessary, you can plug the USB receiver into the USB 2.0 input port to control the Tiny Meet series webcams via control. So download and install the OSBOT upgrade software. Connect the adapter to the power supply and use the USB-C cable to connect the USB-C import port adapter. So there is probably a firmware update. So you've got to use this USB-C cable they gave me, and you got to plug this into your PC and then open up the OSBOT software and do a firmware update. But I'm not going to do that tonight. I did want you guys to see that this actually does convert USB-C to HDMI. I just want to get the remote working, and that would make me really happy to have this OSBOT Tiny 3 become my web camera. Tiny, sleep. Tiny, sleep. Tiny's not listening to me. So anyway, I have my other power supply coming tomorrow. I'm going to try it, but at least that is a look at the quality of the Tiny 3 and the idea of being able to have a converter in your studio to go USB to USB-C. So here's the good news. Let's unplug the camera, right? And let's try, let's see. That's USB-C. So let's go back. USB 2 is this camera right here, right? Nope. This I have USB cameras everywhere. Which one is it? USB-A is there. USB 2 is looking down at me from up there. Okay. And then that's USB-C. So let's unplug the USB-C camera. Let's plug it in here. And let's see what happens if I plug a different camera into it. There we go. So this is the Insgta360 Link 2 Pro. So it works with that camera. I haven't tried it in the YoloCam S3, but that's one of the things that I am going to do. I'm going to do a video on my channel. So I know I can convert an Insgta360 Link 2 Pro. Is that the 2 Pro? Let me double check. I have cameras everywhere. Yeah, I believe that's the Insgta360 Link 2 Pro, or is it not? Where is the Pro? Where is the web camera gone? Oh, there it is. Okay, so where did I link that one? Let's see. It is coming. Okay, that's USB 2. So let's plug in USB 2. Right here. And we'll see if it works. We'll see if it works on the Insta3. That's firing up. There we go, waiting for the picture to come up. It's trying, and there it is. So let's switch again. And there you go. That is the Insta360 Link 2 Pro. And the other camera I had plugged in was the Insta360 Link 2. So it works with both of the Link 2 cameras, the Pro and the regular one. It works with the Tiny 2, and then I don't think I have the right kind of adapter, but we could just steal a cable here. We might as well do this. Let's steal this cable. Let's pull our overhead camera right here. Let's plug it into the YoloCam S3. We'll unplug this camera, change back. So let's unplug it. Okay, we'll see if this boots up. It is booting up. Got a little blinking light. Takes a while for this camera to boot up. and it didn't boot. Might be the cable. So let's lose that cable. Ugh. Let's we'll take this cable right here. Booting up. Does it work with the power port I have with the S3? And it does not. It might just be it's blinking blue. So I'm not sure. It's just not booting up with the S3. So not going to play with that. Just wanted to try it. The cable that's normally on the S3 is actually a USB-C to USB-A, and I don't have an adapter anywhere near me right now. Well, here, let's try this. Okay, I plugged it in the regular S3 cable. It's trying to boot up again. I think it's just the power that this S3 camera needs might be different than the power that the other cameras needs. And again, it is not booting up. So it's trying again. But I think it's just a power issue. And that was a camera that we used as our overhead camera tonight. So I have a mess on my desk. We have talked about the Asus. We have talked about H2R Graphics. We have actually talked about the adapter, the UVC to HDMI adapter for, oh, wait a minute, something, the camera just came back on because I got it plugged back into the YoloBox. And so we'll cut to camera 4. And so there is the YoloCam S3 plugged back into the YoloBox Extreme, and I'm bringing it into tonight's live stream and pretty close to me because it's on a stand almost in tonight's shot, right? Just that far away. And if I change back to this camera, it's just off camera. In fact, I can pull it into camera right here and give you guys even a closer up shot of me. 3, no, what, 2, sorry. That's close enough. So again, well, so I hope that you guys have enjoyed tonight's show. I have had a blast. It's been 2 hours. Let's catch up with the chat. I have the studio completely torn apart. It's been 2 hours of mayhem. But again, I hope you guys are enjoying these kind of shows where I stretch myself to the very limits. Let's see if we can get chat going here again. Chat on the air. And let's see here as we wrap things up. Audio is breaking up. It's very subtle. Maybe that, Tony, was my... maybe that was my wireless microphone dying. Testing 1, 2. So I'm on the SM7B now, so hopefully we're good. I'm sure that was a while ago, so I apologize if you guys just lost audio. Got to plug this YoloBox back in. because the battery is almost dead on the YoloBox. So again, I don't see much anything else in the chat. That's great English. I know. Let's see. Gone with the studio mic. Yeah, I hope that's what it was. Is chat on the air still working now that H2R is? So yeah, H2R Graphics is shut down, and I'm just using OBS to do the chat tonight. And I do have my Sky camera available tonight to bring on the air. And again, it is in my PC output. So there is, what do they do here? PC. There is my Sky cam right there that I used for the intro. So lots of fun using these webcams to show around the studio. And I have webcams everywhere now. I have one back there, which I'll cut to right now. Nope. Come on, PC. So it's way back there in the corner. Of course, you guys are seeing a close-up. I don't have the OSBOT, the Insta360 software open right now, but I will open that for our outro here. Minimize that. There it is. So adjust cameras here. Here are the presets for that back camera. And again, I love having these webcams. There is kind of a autofocus shot, which is really cool. The new Insta360 Link software lets you save presets, not just position presets, but now you can save focus. So I just took this out of focus, so I could literally just go in here, making a focus adjustment. If I could find those settings, the software's all changed up on me. Where is it? There we go, image. So let me find autofocus, and then that'll bring that camera back there into focus. So got these different presets throughout the studio for that camera. There's Batman and Robin. Then there's that shot blurred. There's Robo Sapien and my favorite Omnibus Batman 1966 collection book. And another view. There's Jack Sparrow. And again, my little Batman and Robin. So I love having these mobile cameras that go around the studio. So I hope you enjoyed tonight's live stream. I know we all got to go. So thank you so much. Thank you, Osbot, for sending me the Tiny 3, as well as the little wireless Osbot Vox SE. I don't know why mine's not connecting. They are on a holiday where they are, so I won't be able to ask for 3 or 4 days, but I haven't been able to get this little tiny wireless microphone to connect through Bluetooth. It's in here somewhere. It's way smaller, so small I can't find it. There it is. Very tiny. So again, I had that out last week. We unboxed this. I haven't been able to get this connect to the Tiny 3. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but we will figure that out. Again, it's probably something to do with the firmware. So we'll get all the firmware updated. We get the power supply in. We'll make sure that this UVC to HDMI adapter works with not only the Tiny 3, but that we get the remote control working. We get the wireless microphone working. And that'll all be in my video that will come out in March. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you'll check out some of those laptops that Asus has. There's links in the description to look at the laptops, links in the description to look at H2R Graphics and John Barker's video that we had tonight. And again, John Barker did a really nice introduction to his new software. Again, this is that video, so you can go to the links in the description and play the video, or you can go over to H2R Graphics site on YouTube and check out John Barker's video. Again, this is not a advertisement for them. I just think H2R Graphics is an option for a lot of us. You might want to take a look at those Asus laptops. If you come back tomorrow, I'll have the link to my favorite laptop reviewer that's out there in YouTube land, and make sure that you guys can check out all the 2026 laptops that are slowly being reviewed in his hands in his studio. So that'll be a lot of fun. So until next time, I am Keith. This is Life Journey Production Studios. I hope you guys have a blessed week, and I'll see you again right here on Tuesday. Until then, be safe.